Just now we have completed the seed habit. Now consider the new topic which is called as the apospory, apogamy and the parthenogenesis. Now all these subtopics were found in the pteridophytes. The apospory, apogamy and parthenogenesis, all this phenomenon can be found in the pteridophytic plants. Okay, so we have to understand what is mean by the apospory, what is meant by the apogamy, and what is the difference between the apospory and the apogamy, and finally we have to talk about the parthenogenesis which is found in some of the pteridophytes. Okay, so let us start the apospory, apogamy and the parthenogenesis in pteridophytes. So we are dealing with the paper 1, right? In that we are studying the cryptogams, and we are here at the pteridophytes. In the pteridophytes, what you have to study? Its structure, its reproduction from the evolutionary viewpoint, and finally you have to go through the ecological and the economic importance of the pteridophytes. Okay. Now consider what is the apospory, apogamy and the parthenogenesis. See, sometimes the deviation in the regular alternation of generation are noticed in the pteridophytes in the form of apogamy and apospory. As you already know how the alternation of generation occur in the pteridophytes. There is a sporophyte like this, then sporophyte will produce spore will germinate to create the gametophyte will produce the sexual organ to create the zygote will create the embryo, and embryo will create the sporophyte. But this alternation of generation, this whole alternation of generation can sometimes show the differences, sometimes shows the deviation. They are not always perfect in the pteridophytes. They show the different phenomenon like the apospory or and the apogamy. And these apogamy and the apospory are responsible for changing to for alteration in this alternation of the generation. Now let us consider how this happened. See, the apospory is the development of the unusual diploid gametophyte from the vegetative parts of the sporophyte and not from the spores. Very important. Understand what is apospory. Apospory is the development of the diploid gametophyte. How the gametophyte is there? Diploid gametophyte. Generally, what happen in the alternation of generation? The haploid spore. Okay, these are the haploid spore will give rise to the haploid gametophyte. This naturally happens in the pteridophyte. But in the apospory, what happened? There is a formation of the diploid gametophyte. There is a formation of diploid gametophyte, and this gametophyte, from where this is coming? This is coming from the vegetative parts of the sporophyte. That is the vegetative part of it, leaf, stem and roots. These are vegetative parts giving rise to the diploid gametophyte without formation of spore. There is no formation of spore. So you can consider this is a deviation. This is not a regular alternation of generation. Because you know, in the alternation of generation, what happens? The sporophyte will create the spores will create the gametophyte will produce the gametes, and there is a formation of zygote after fertilization, and zygote will create the sporophyte. This is the normal alternation of generation, right? So this alternation of generation, which is normally found in the pteridophyte, it shows the alternation in the form of apospory. Now what is happening in the apospory? The diploid cells of the vegetative parts of the sporophyte. Consider this is a sporophytic plant, and the vegetative portion of it, the vegetative part, say for example leaves, this twicean part which is the diploid, this sporophyte is always diploid body, this diploid body will give rise to the diploid gametophyte. That is, gametophyte is formed but not from the spores. From where it is coming? It is coming from the sporophytic vegetative part of the sporophytic plant body, and to surprise, it is a diploid gametophyte and not an haploid gametophyte. Okay, so what is apospory? Apospory is the unusual diploid gametophytic development. And from where this diploid gametophyte is created? It is created from the vegetative cells of the sporophyte. So this sporophytic plant body directly giving rise to the diploid gametophyte. Okay, now consider. See, the cause of the apospory. Now, why this apospory happens? Now, the cause of this apospory involves the deficiency of the mineral nutrition. See, for example, if the plant has the deficiency of the mineral nutrition, and this literally means the nutrition is not up for the any plant to develop the spores. That is, they have the very less energy to create the reproductive structure, to create this asexual or the sexual spores. These spores are not created due to the mineral nutrition deficiency, and hence the vegetative portion, that is the leaf, stem and roots, were used to create the gametophyte. Because without the formation of the spore, there will not be the formation of gametophyte. So they find a different way to create the gametophyte. That is, whenever there is a mineral nutrition deficiency, they cannot create the spores due to the lack of energy. Due to the lack of the spores, they have to create the gametophyte out of its sporophytic vegetative parts. Then the development of the leaves under the dim light. Okay, this is also justifiable. Now whenever there is a development of these leaves under the dim light, this means the light is not sufficient, and due to the absence of sufficient light, there will not be any presence of the photosynthesis, there will not be the higher amount of photosynthesis. And if there is a no photosynthesis, there will be the less amount of food, and this less amount of food is always used to maintain the vegetative body, and the reproductive structures were not created out of this vegetative portion. So in absence of the reproductive structures, that is the spores, the sporophytic plant body, the vegetative parts of the sporophyte will directly create the gametophytic generation. That is the diploid gametophyte is created out of this particular vegetative portion of the sporophyte. So mineral nutrition, then the development of the leaves under the very dim light are the causes for this apospory. Okay. Now example where the apospory can be seen is the pteris, then Nephrolepis and the Drinaria. All the genus of the pteridophytes are showing this particular kind of apospory, and it is very interesting because whenever we study the alternation of generation, it is showing very typical characteristic of which is the alternation in the generation, that is the sporophyte. There is always a sporophyte which is a diploid plant body. This is a sporophyte. What it will create? It will create the haploid spores. These haploid spores will germinate to create the gametophyte. Gametophyte will possess the male gamete and the female gamete. Male gamete are the anthrozoids. Female gamete is the egg. And anthrozoids and egg will create the zygote. Zygote will create the embryo. Embryo will develop the sporophyte. But this is not happen in the apospory. What is happening in the apospory? There is a sporophyte. And out of this sporophyte, directly there is a creation of the gametophyte. No spores. Spores were not present. Spores are not there. This is a sporophytic plant body directly giving rise to the gametophyte. And this is very surprising phenomenon because this sporophyte is diploid and this gametophyte is also diploid because it is coming from the vegetative cells of the sporophyte. So there is no haploid generation. There is a sporophyte, there is a gametophyte, but gametophyte is directly created out of sporophyte. Okay, so this phenomenon is called as the apospory, and why it can happen? It can happen due to two conditions. If there is a mineral nutrition deficiency and if the leaves are growing in the dim light. An example for this is the pteris, Nephrolepis and Drinaria. Okay. Now see, this phenomenon of the apospory was first discovered by the Drury, okay, in 1884 in the Atherium felix femina plant. Okay. Since then the apospory is reported from the many pteridophytes. Okay. Many pteridophytes showing this particular kind of phenomenon now. Okay. So I hope you understand this particular apospory. Okay, what is the apospory? Apospory is nothing but the development of the diploid gametophyte directly from the diploid sporophytic vegetative part of the plant body without the formation of haploid spores. Okay, now let us consider the second term, which is called as the apogamy. Now as you have understand what is apospory, now compare them with the apogamy. Okay, now see, the apogamy is the development of the unusual haploid sporophyte. See, what is development? What is creating here? It is the development of the haploid sporophyte from the gametophyte without the fusion of gametes. See, here again the alternation of generation is changing. Now, what is alternation of generation? There is a sporophyte. Again, I am drawing the alternation of generation so that you will remember it for forever. Okay. So, what is the normal? The sporophyte will produce the spores, haploid spores. These are haploid spores. Okay, I am noting here haploid. This sporophyte is diploid. So these are haploid spores upon germination will create the gametophyte. Okay. What it is creating? It is creating the gametophyte. Gametophyte, how is the gametophyte? Is the haploid gametophyte. Gametophyte, what it will create? The male gamete and the female gamete. Okay. What is the male gamete? What is the male gamete here? Is the antheridium, right? And what is the female structure? Is the archegonium. Okay. Antheridium and archegonium. Antheridium will produce the anthrozoids. And what will produce the archegonium? It will produce the egg. Now, anthrozoids and the egg will create the zygote, right? Which is an diploid zygote. And this zygote will create a sporophyte, which is a diploid sporophyte. This is a normal alternation of generation. Now, what is happening in the apogamy? Consider what is happening here in the apogamy. Here, there is a formation of haploid sporophyte. You will never see the haploid sporophyte in normal alternation of generation. The sporophyte is always diploid here. But there is a formation of haploid sporophyte from the gametophyte without the fusion of gametes. That is, the gametes are not formed. Consider this is an haploid gametophyte, and from here the deviation takes place. This haploid gametophyte will not produce male and female gamete, hence there is no formation of archegonium and antheridium, and hence there is no formation of egg and anthrozoids, hence there is no formation of zygote. But these gametophytic cells directly giving rise to the sporophyte, and here's the sporophyte is haploid because this gametophyte is haploid. So in the apogamy, these haploid sporophytes were got created out of the haploid gametophyte in absence of the fusion of the gametes. That is, the male and female gametes are not fusing with each other, and without this fusion, the haploid sporophyte is got created. So you can say that the apospory is like the opposite thing of the apogamy. There, the diploid gametophyte is created out of the diploid sporophyte. Here, the haploid sporophyte is got created out of the haploid gametophyte. Okay, without the fusion of the gametes. Now, it was first discovered by the Farlow in 1874. Okay, so what is apogamy? Apogamy is nothing but the formation of the haploid sporophyte out of the haploid gametophyte without the fusion of gametes. Now, what are the causes of this apogamy? Why this apogamy occurs? See, it includes the aging of the prothallus. Okay, if the prothallus, that is the gametophyte, if this gametophyte is getting aged, that is without the formation of sexual organs, if it is getting aged, this literally means it is going to waste. Now, in such a condition, this gametophyte will directly create the haploid sporophyte. Okay. The second reason is the failure of the sex organ formation. That is, this gametophyte is failed to produce the male sex organ and the female sex organ. And if it is failed to produce the male sex organ and female sex organ, there will not be any chance of creating the sporophyte. Because then there will not be any fertilization. If there is no fertilization, there is no presence of the zygote. And if there is no zygote, there will not be any sporophyte. So, the gametophyte, in absence of the formation of sexual organs, that is the male organ and the female organ, it can directly create the sporophyte, the haploid sporophyte. Then, the absence of the normal fertilization, then the prothallus growing under the very bright light. If it is growing under the very bright light, it can cause the apogamy. Okay. And very high temperature is also responsible for these particular apogamy to occur. So, what are the causes for the apogamy? There is the aging of prothallus, then failure of the sex organ formation or the failure of the fertilization. Then there is a prothallus growing under the very bright light or in the very high temperature. In such a condition, it will show the apogamy, that is the formation of the haploid sporophyte right from the haploid gametophyte. Okay. Now, see, this natural apogamy can be found in the Dryopteris, Adiantum and the pteridophytes. So, this natural apogamy can be found in the Dryopteris, Adiantum and the pteris. Okay, so these plants are the example for the apogamy, right? Now, consider one of the noteworthy features of the apogamy. See, apogamy shows some very interesting features. Consider the one of the noteworthy feature of this apogamy is that the formation of, from the non-vascular gametophyte, there develops the vascular sporophyte. See, very interesting. This gametophyte is directly creating the sporophyte, right? This gametophyte, which is haploid, directly creates the haploid sporophyte. In the process of apogamy, there is no formation of sexual organs. So, but what is noteworthy here? This gametophyte is non-vascular. That is does not possess the xylem and phloem. This is non-vascular gametophyte. But this sporophyte, which is a haploid sporophyte, which is created out of this gametophyte, it possesses the vascular system. See, so haploid genome is coming from this gametophyte to the sporophyte, but this sporophyte creates the vascular system, but this gametophyte does not create any vascular system. So it's very interesting from the genetics point of view. If as it is genome is transferring from the gametophyte, which is non-vascular, it is creating the haploid sporophyte, which is vascular. So it's a topic of research in the genetics. That is how it has happened. How the non-vascular gametophyte is creating the vascular sporophyte, right? See, the apogamous sporophytes develops in the direct continuity with the gametophyte. What happens? See how this happen. The whatever the gametophytic plant is there. Okay, consider this is a gametophyte, right? From this gametophyte, in a continuation, there is a formation of sporophyte. That is, the sporophyte is typically attached itself to the gametophyte, and the sporophyte is in continuation with the gametophyte. What happens in a first step? See, 1 to 3 celled meristematic center originates in the most thickened part of the gametophyte. Consider this is an gametophyte, and see, consider this region, which is a thick region, and in this thick region, 1 to 3 celled thick meristematic region is created here, like this. Okay. In the first step of the apogamy, what happens? Here is the gametophyte, which is the haploid gametophyte, and this haploid gametophyte will create the thick, the very thick 1 to 3 celled mount, and where there is the most thickened part of the gametophyte. Now, what happens in the next step? It divides in the various planes and form the meristematic mound of cells. That is, the cell's mound is created on the one part of the gametophyte. Consider again, I am drawing here. This is an gametophyte, for example, and here is the thickened portion, and here it is creating the mound like this. And cells are dividing constantly, and it is creating the mound. Okay, like this. Okay, now from this mound the shoot apices differentiate like this. The shoot is got created out of this particular mound, and it starts to differentiate into the root, stem, and leaves. Still it is attached to the gametophyte. That is, gametophyte and the sporophytes are attached, are somewhat attached. Okay, they are in a continuity. Okay, usually the first root arises advantageously from the stem. Okay, and from the stem there is a formation of the roots like this. After the formation of stem and the leafy regions, okay, leaves and stems once got created, there is the first xylem elements appear. Okay, then there is a formation of xylem elements. So this is how the gametophyte is creating the sporophyte in continuation of its body. Okay, now consider its type. Okay, there are two types of the apogamy actually. The very first is called as the obligate apogamy. See, this apogamy is caused due to the non-functional nature of the male or female sex organs, or because of the total absence of one or both sex organs. See, if the apogamy is taking place because of the absence of the male sex organ or the female sex organ, or absence of both the sex organs. Okay, if it's showing the absence of the both the sex organs, then it is called as the if it is showing the apogamy due to the absence of one of the sex organs or both of the sex organs, then in such a case it is called as the obligate apogamy. Okay, and when we talk about the sex organs, it can be the absence of the male sex organs, it can be the absence of female sex organ, or it can be the absence of both the sex organ. So if the apogamy is created out of the absence of the male sex organ or the female sex organ or the both of the sex organs, then such a type of apogamy is called obligate apogamy. While the facultative apogamy is the apogamy which is induced due to the both the sex in which both the sex organs are present on the gametophyte, but such a gametophyte is called as the facultative apogamy. Okay, now consider it again. See, what is faculty, how we can define the facultative apogamy? If there is a presence, if there is a presence of both the sex organ, that is, the male sex organ is present and the female sex organ is also present, everything is natural, but still it is showing the apogamy, then it in such a condition it is called as the facultative apogamy. That means the reproductive organs are all right, they are present, male sex organ is present, female sex organ is present, but still the apogamy is occurring there, then in such a condition it is called as the facultative apogamy. So due to the presence or absence of the apogamy, there are two types of apogamy. The very first is called as the obligate apogamy, and second one is called as the facultative apogamy. In the obligate apogamy, there is a presence or there is a absence of the one or the both of the sex organs, and in the facultative apogamy, there is a presence of both the sex organs, but the apogamy is taking place by the other reasons. In such a condition, it is called as the facultative apogamy. All right. Now let us consider the parthenogenesis. Now you have studied the apospory and the apogamy. Now you can even compare between the apogamy and the apospory in your home assignment, so that it will make you more clear, it will give you more clear idea about these are two concepts like the apospory and the apogamy. Okay, now let us consider the third, that is the parthenogenesis, which is found in the pteridophyte. As you already may have heard about this parthenogenesis, it is the formation of sporophyte from the egg without fertilization is called parthenogenesis. I am drawing here the alternation of generation. Okay, consider this is the sporophyte. Okay, from this sporophyte, what it will create? It will create the spores, and spores upon germination will create the gametophyte, and this gametophyte will produce the male sexual organ and the female sexual organ. Okay, male sexual organs are the anthrozoids. Okay, and the female sex organs are the egg. Then the fusion between the egg and the anthrozoids, it will create the zygote, and zygote will create the sporophyte. Okay, but what happens in the parthenogenesis? See, what happens in a parthenogenesis? Here is the formation of sporophyte. It will form the spore. Spore will form the gametophyte, and a gametophyte will produce the male gametophyte and the female gametophyte, and female gametophyte will possess the egg. Now, at this stage, this egg is directly converting into the sporophyte. There is a no union with that of the anthrozoids, and there is a no formation of zygote. But this egg is directly converting into the sporophyte. Then such a condition, when we say the egg is directly converting into the sporophyte without undergoing the fertilization, without coming in contact with the male sexual organ, such a condition it is called as the parthenogenesis. So what is parthenogenesis? Parthenogenesis is nothing but the formation of the sporophyte directly from the egg without the fusion with the male gametophyte and without the creation of the zygote. So zygote is not got created. Even the antherozoites are not required. Directly the egg, this egg is directly creating the sporophyte. Okay, and this phenomenon is called as the parthenogenesis. Now see, in the homosporous leptosporangiate ferns, it was observed that the apospory was followed by neither the apogamy nor the fertilization but by the parthenogenesis. Okay, so in the homosporal leptosporangiate fern there is the occurrence of the parthenogenesis, in which there is a formation of egg and egg is directly creating the sporophyte. Okay, now consider the parthenogenesis in the Selaginella intermedia and the Selaginella linguae was first reported by the Hieronymus. Okay, you should remember this Hieronymus name because in 1911 he has reported the parthenogenesis from the pteridophytic plants. Okay, now in some species of the Selaginella, the archegonia failed to open and the egg develop into the sporophytes parthenogenetically. Okay, that the archegonia it do not open. Okay, as you know, archegonia is the ventral canal cell, neck canal cell, all structure is there, and inside here we have the egg, and it fails to open. Okay, it does not open, and this egg is directly converting into what we call as a sporophyte. Hence, the parthenogenesis, a well-known concept, is always it is also found in the pteridophytes as well. Pteridophytes are no exception. Here also you will find the parthenogenesis. Okay, so these are the concepts which are called as the apospory, apogamy, and the parthenogenesis, which are nothing but the deviation from the normal alternation of generation occurring in the pteridophytic plants. Okay, so this is all about this topic. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Please like this video, share this video with your friends who are studying the botany, and if you haven't subscribed to the Botany Option channel yet, please subscribe to the Botany Option channel for UPSC examination. Again, thank you very much for giving your time. See you in the next video lecture. Thank you.